that was a... It died with a whimper.
Oh,
Porque. So funny.
Most days.
Most days.
Most days. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 64 Bits of Rage. Haha, I remember the name.
Yeah, not Rage Quit. 64
or
bits
episode
of
21.
This is episode 3 of 64 Bits of Rage.
Tracy.
I'm Anthony Schultz.
I'm Ariel and That's the dog in the background.
Ear flapping.
Ear flaps are for friends.
As she curls up onto a pillow, even though she's 4 times the size of the pillow.
Now she knows you're talking about her, though.
Yeah, now she's gonna stare at me.
Go lay down.
Now that Chewee's gonna run to the gate.
Yep. Alright, so, Anthony, what do we have on our plate today for 64 bits?
Today we're gonna be probably most predominantly talking about Animal Crossing. Not probably, we will.
Yeah.
And then 2020 Nintendo Switch releases, or maybe even lack thereof, or what we
want, or
would like announced for this year.
True. Very, very true.
Yeah. So I think we'll begin with Animal Crossing, because I know that is, like, probably...
the biggest game. Being
for you.
Yeah, for me especially.
Yeah, with the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation 4.
It's like $50 to buy their Amazon, or crap. Controller. God, why is my brain not working?
Oh, the Animal Crossing Pro controller for the Switch? Yeah, we're going to have to get you one of those. That looks really cool. And I've got my awesome Mario one.
Mario!
And I want to scoop up one of the Mario games for Nintendo that came out for the Switch, because I haven't played any of those yet.
That makes
so
sense.
There's the port from the Wii U one. That looks really good. And then there's obviously Mario Odyssey, which is like the main canon kind of
Yeah. Well, anyway, so what I can do is describe a little bit about Animal Crossing New Horizon. Because I got the wikis up.
Oh, okay, cool. That's kind of what I just did. So, tackle it.
So,
You're the showrunner for this podcast, so.
Most days. So, Animal Crossing, as I say, is New Horizon, is an upcoming live simulation video game developed and published by Nintendo as part of the Animal Crossing series, which is cool that it's a series. I didn't really think about it like that. It is scheduled to be released
I didn't either. That's a good point.
for the Nintendo Switch on March 20th, 2020. 2020, 2020, 2020s. I feel like that's how they did it. Okay, so do you want to go over a little bit about the gameplay?
Yeah, absolutely. I played, or I've seen, I don't even know really if I
played it on your phone.
I played that one, and then I saw the one that was on the GameCube back when I was in high school. I don't know if I ever really played it, though. I think it might have been friends, like, showing me. Yeah, I had, like, a good friend. I think he graduated, like, salutatorian in our high school.
What the hell is that?
Second to valedictorian.
Oh.
Well,
that's why no one knows what that is.
I was, like, good friends with who ended up becoming, like, the valedictorian, the salutatorian. They were in our group, which was funny. And then there was, like, my best friend, Blaine.
My best friend. Yeah.
And then myself, of course. And so it was, like, between the 4 of us, I think it was, like, we knew who graduated first, who graduated second. I graduated 7th, and then our friend Blaine graduated, like, 20-something. He was like way down. And he was very angry about that, because he was actually a really smart guy. And we all took, like, AP classes and stuff. But anyways,
nerd alert, TD sparkler.
Pretty much. The cool thing was we were all gamers.
Is it really a cool thing?
Not that.
Oh.
The cool thing was we were all gamers, and my friend Tyson Todd was his name.
You remember the weirdest shit.
Yeah, what place he graduated in high school, full name, everything.
Yep. I remember half the people I was friends with.
He lived really close to our high school campus, and he had a GameCube. So sometimes we would go over, like, during our lunch. We would walk over and have lunch and stuff, and then he would either show us games, or we would play games together. And I'm pretty sure one of them was the Animal Crossing for the GameCube. So that was really my first, like...
experience.
Yeah, with Animal Crossing.
Okay, well, that makes sense. That's about the time, too, I had it, because I didn't have a GameCube.
Yeah, I probably would have been like 17 or something like that.
Yeah, my friends had one, so I always played on theirs. And like I said, I actually cheated, because obviously you buy your house from Nook, Mr. Nook, Tom Nook. And obviously you can, you gotta pay him, because you're to mortgage.
Yeah, with the bill and
then you can make it bigger, second floor bigger, and I think that's only goes to second floor and a second expansion. So there's only a limit on how big you can actually go.
Do you have to pay him more and more depending on what you add?
Yep.
Even though you're adding to your own house?
Yep.
See, you should be able to just, like, buy it, like, outright and then add to it.
Nope.
That's dope.
That's not how Animal Crossing works.
Tom Nook is, like...
He's getting it. He's gaming the system.
Yeah, he's like a slumlord. Like, that's fucked up.
He's a raccoon. Duh.
He's a raccoon. He's a thief. That's stereotypes. Like, you're stereotyping raccoons. Even though we talked about in our Rage Quit episode about Sucker Punch and Sly Raccoon, it was like Raccoon is Thievis.
Yeah,
it was one of the titles to the games. So
you're really judging me.
Why are we stereotyping raccoons?
Anyways.
Seems wrong.
They stereotype themselves.
No.
Yeah, they do. They're trash pandas.
That's a better name, but
they steal trash. They steal things. They steal shiny things of all things. They love to steal shiny things.
They also clean them.
I like it when you watch those videos with raccoons and cotton candy, and then they get very sad.
Or like sugar cubes and
sugar
snow.
Cubes,
they go to try to wash it, and it's gone, and they're like very distraught. Oh my god, I lost my thing.
I wanted to eat it.
That is really sad.
But it's funny and cute at the same time because they just don't learn. They keep going back.
Yeah,
we're getting tangential on raccoons now. I know you want a raccoon as a pet.
One day.
Oh god. We're ready to run the zoo. Now, with that being said, so you do that, you obviously buy your first house, and you can constantly expand on it. Like, you don't have to pay off the house to do it. I think you have to pay off the initial one, which is cheap.
Yeah.
And of course, it gets more expensive as you go. Well, obviously, with the first one, the faster you pay it off, you get, like, the trophies in the town and stuff. Like, you get, like, your own statue. She paid off her house, look at her, ha ha ha. And each house, there's only 4 plots.
This is such a weird form of government and like taxation. Like this is like an oligarchy or whatever. Like it's just very like
it's a gotcha game. But anyways, so then it has like only 4 safe spots. So there's only 4 house plots.
Yeah.
And so, excuse me, you collect things or do things to get money to. Bells to give to Mr. Nook to pay it off.
You murder for Tom Nook.
Murder for hire. But my friend who's had this game pretty much from release had like just banked a bunch of bells, so she gifted it to me, the payment on my house.
Yeah.
So like I got the like pristine platinum statue. It was
That's
like,
funny.
Just like top tier statue. Like yeah. But of course that was like forever ago. But that's the one I played as well.
Yeah, I remember that one pretty vividly, like, and how it looked and stuff and how it functioned. I never had a game to way later.
Mm-hmm.
However, if I would have had one at the time, that would have been one of the ones I would have got.
I think
I would have gotten that. I would have gotten, of course, like Mario and like the Zeldas and stuff. Like I would have done the basics.
Yeah, fair enough. No,
and Animal Crossing would have been included in that.
Well, it was like the funniest part I'd have because I have the Animal Crossing on my 3DS because our funny joke always is catching the bugs, paying that rent.
Yep.
And there's a thing, I don't know if that does it, but on the GameCube, there's this scam artist who would, he's like, I'm going to give you this really cool thing, but you got to give me coins for it, or bells for it.
Like first?
Yeah,
like
first.
Before you know what it is?
Yeah. And like he does it, and I've got to go get it, or something like those lines. And you don't know, because
he fucking jacks your bells?
He jacks your shit. So a lot of people won't save, so they'll just turn off their system and turn it back on. Well, you get yelled at by a mole. It says, how dare you turn off your systems? You can't turn off your systems.
On the 3DS version?
On the GameCube, actually.
Oh, the GameCube. Oh, okay.
Because, like, he come around all the time and try to scam you. Like, obviously, you kind of fall for it the first time.
So you're, like, getting around it, though. But I know that game is pretty good about keeping track of your in-game clock.
Because
so it knows time has passed, even if you don't save.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you can skip time and stuff.
No, I know that, but I know it's like set to your internal clock of your console.
Yeah,
It was. There's very few games that did
like
that.
If you like,
so even if you don't save, it knows that time has elapsed, so that it can yell at you. Like,
yeah, like it knows if you shut the game off real quick.
And didn't save
because he scammed you and took like 100 some odd, thousands of bells, which are really hard to kind of gather to pay for your rent. And then he's like, "Don't turn off your system."
This seems just such a scam system. Like,
it's
Tom
awesome,
looks such a dick.
It's great. Anyway, so let me read the gameplay here. Bear with me, guys. I'm not trying to read too fast because my job, I read a lot.
I can read it if you want.
No, I got it. I got the jaw muscles worked out here.
Broski.
So for the gameplay, this is Animal Crossing New Horizon. As in previous installments in the Animal Crossing series, New Horizons is a non-linear life simulation game played in real time. Which all the Animal Crossings I do like that.
Yeah.
The player,
I like sim games too.
True. The player assumes the role of a customizable character who moves to a deserted island, which is legit, after purchasing a vacation package from Tom Nook. See? A raccoon character who is a staple of the series. Well, yeah, duh. The game proceeds in an open-ended fashion as the player explores the island and develops into a community of anthropomorphic. Thank you. Animals. Similar to the 2017 spin-off Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, which is the one I play on my phone. The game introduced a crafting system that allows the player to convert materials into tools and furniture, which is way different than any of the other games.
Oh, they didn't have any of the crafting stuff?
No.
Oh, okay.
Which can be used
that's in Pocket Camp, though, right?
Yeah, which can be used, not crafting, you can design things, which can be used to decorate the game interior and exterior spaces. The game will allow the player to customize the appearance of their characters at will, and will not lock specific hairstyles or facial features to specific genders, which is cool because, like, you just kind of pick a male, female, and that's kind of what you get with the characters.
Yeah, like an avatar.
Yeah. Player will additionally be able to select their character's skin color, which is cool. A feature into the 2015 spin-off Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer, which I did not play that one. Appearing for the first time in the main series Animal Crossing title. Nook Miles, a new game currency. Oh, that's different. It's not
it's like
bells.
A travel agency.
Oh,
so you're getting like frequent flyer miles.
That's awesome. Earned by completing various tasks, can be used to purchase premium items. Player will be able to invite animals to live on their island, which you do in the Pocket game, and will have the option to choose or influence where the animals construct their homes, which is kind of cool. Because right now, in Pocket Camp, I just have a camp and there's just a bunch of animals everywhere.
Yeah.
The game's weather will also adjust to the season of the northern or southern hemisphere, depending on the player's real-world location. At first, for the Animal Crossing series, another feature in the addition of windy weather, which will be expressed in the movement of leaves on the trees. New Horizons will support both local and online co-op gameplay, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
With up to 4 players locally and 8 players online. Also, we can play couch co-op.
Hell yeah.
And able to occupy an island at a given time. So, Acapado. The game will not connect that sucks. The game will not connect directly with Animal Crossing Pocket Camp because it's a camping one. I was like, oh, look at this connect. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I always like it when they do that. Like, there was Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag had a cool thing where it was like you could play the game proper, and then you could also build up like an armada or a fleet, and you could send ships out on trading routes to get items and stuff. That's cool. And then there was iPhone app for it. So while you weren't playing it, you could like manage all your ships and stuff. So like if they came back into port, like you could like send them out on a new task, or like you could do little ship battles and stuff. Like if they were attacked by pirates, that was pretty cool.
That's cool. So like I was saying, though there will be collaborative items between the two games. So I wonder how they're going to do that.
I don't know, yeah. Probably with your Nintendo ID. There's stuff shared, so you'll get something in like a mail system.
Oh, that's true. This is a side note too. I need to figure out how to link my Nintendo account with my Pocket Camp because it's not letting me do it. But I think that's a different side note. But no, that's
well, they have 2 different like Nintendo IDs, which is kind of confusing. Like there's a separate one for like the 3DS and like Wii and all that stuff before, and then there's like a new one for like the Switch and iPhone games.
I don't know.
Yeah, so if I remember right, because there's a few Nintendo iPhone games I play, like Mario Run and stuff like that, and it was like
Dr. Mario.
Dr. Mario's another one. Yeah, they're like weird to like link. It's like a weird linking system, but.
Well, so how do you feel about the New Horizon Animal Crossing coming out?
I think it looks awesome. Like for me, it'll be kind of like when you have me play Pokemon for the first time. It'll be like way after the fact. The series has been going on for a long time, and then I'll be able to dive into it, you know, with kind of like a new perspective or a fresh pair of eyes. And I think I'll have fun with it. Like I love simulation games. Like Nintendo first party games are notoriously good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds interesting. That it seems to like scratch that itch, like you know, like The Sims does, or SimCity, or Minecraft, even, and like games like that, or Don't Starve, and things like that, where they're like it's like a survival based or like simulation based. You're like crafting your building. And it's kind of endless. Yeah. You could hop in for like 10 minutes, or you can get absorbed into it for 3 hours. You know, and I like those kind of games. Like, that genre and style is really cool. So I'm excited to play it. So.
No, I am too, because like I said, I've played many versions of it, and like I have the 3DS version, which was the original, I think, GameCube version.
Oh, they just ported it to the 3DS?
Yeah, and I don't think I played any different versions of that.
I should play that on 3DS then.
Yeah, I have a little cartridge around here somewhere. And you get multiple saves, like I was saying. So that, I have that one, and then I have the Pocket Camp, and they haven't really come out with a new Animal Crossing. Honestly, I don't think the last one might have been the GameCube.
Yeah, I know that one has kind of like a sporadic release. It's not something, even like Mario and Zelda, where you get one every few years.
Yeah.
it's like few and far between, and it's kind of jumped all over the place.
Yeah, different types of simulators.
Cell phones, and then handheld with the 3DS, which was probably a port, and then GameCube, and then now Switch. It's like that's a huge chunk of time, and then 4 different types.
I have it on the Wii and the Wii U, but let me see.
4 different types of devices.
Games. So they have Animal Crossing, which released in 2001.
That must have been the GameCube one, because that's right in that generation.
Yeah. Then Wild World is another one. City Folk, New Leaf.
City Folk and New Leaf I've heard of.
And
I've never seen them played, though.
Yeah, and then they have the big chunk from, like, 2014 to 2017. Happy Home Designer, Amiibo Festival, which makes sense. New Leaf, Welcome Home Amiibos. And then Pocket Camp. And then New Horizons coming out.
So it sounds like a whole bunch of kind of, like, spin-offs or, like, Animal Crossing lights, but nothing, like, a full game in the entry.
No,
really.
it came out on the 64 and then GameCube.
Oh, 64 then.
I think it was the latter half because then the GameCube came out because it was April 2001 and then it was on the GameCube in December 21. Oh, no, that's in Japan. Oh, so it was on the 64 in Japan and it wasn't released until...
The GameCube was here.
Yeah. And then 20...
But that makes sense, though, because usually there's, like, a discrepancy in release times for most games between Japan and North America.
I remember Wild World.
Unless it's, like, crazy, like, big.
That
like,
one's on
like
the
Final
DS.
Fantasy 7 Remake or something.
Yeah, the Wild World. I think I had that one on the DS. City Folk. I didn't play that one.
Again, that one I've heard of. But
New Leaf. I didn't play that one either.
That I've heard of as well. I feel like New Leaf was like...
That was
one of the last big ones.
Yeah, and then they have like Happy Home Designer, which is like a weird kind of box art series type thing. That's on
Which
the
they
3DS.
did a lot of like smaller titles off of like big franchises.
Yeah, then Amiibo Festival is a completely different type of game, but still Animal Crossing characters. So it's interesting to see the development where it goes, the 3 kind of main Animal Crossing, then Wild World, then City Folk, then New Leaf. And then they've got like...
Some weird ones.
Some weird oddities, and then the right there, and then Pocket Camp, which is the one I play now, and then New Horizon, which is actually like Animal Crossing, but obviously developed differently.
It's such like an unusual release history.
Yeah, 2001, so it was released in Japan in Nintendo 64 in 2001. It was enhanced and released on the GameCube the same year. So it wasn't...
Which makes sense. It's kind of like what Nintendo does now with like Zelda. Like they've done that with the last like 3 Zeldas, or close to it.
Yeah, and they obviously have different like ports and stuff, but...
Like Twilight Princess went from GameCube to Wii.
Yeah, because like when I look up the Animal Crossing Happy Home
launch.
Designer, they say it's a spin-off, and then this one was a spin-off. It's not really... It is...
Like it's like with Final Fantasy, which we did a Rage Quit one on. There's like, we just talked about in that episode, like the main series proper.
Not all the oddities that
but
they
there's
have.
there's like sequels within the main ones, like Final Fantasy X-2, 13-2, 13-3, and then there's also like Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah.
Like there's cell phone ones like Final Fantasy Brave Exvius and stuff where they... Or even like Duodecim and stuff, which is like a fighting game.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of spin-offs and tie-ins, but we didn't discuss those just because that franchise is so huge. But.
Yeah, but it's not really what we're discussing. We're discussing the Final Fantasy main games. That's kind of what we're doing here. It's like with the Animal Crossing series, which is funny to think that they have in Japan a 64 one.
Yeah, which you can probably get now.
Probably. That'd be legit. I'd like to like scoop that up and play it on my 64, which it originally released on, and it released later in the same year on the GameCube, which was released here.
Yeah, I'd have to look at like region lock kind of stuff, but you should be able to play it. It'd be in Japanese, but
we really don't need to understand what people are saying, okay? It's it's like sim talk when the Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Simonese.
Animal Crossing-ese? I don't know. Oh, that sounded weird.
Yeah, it's like almost Chinese, but not at the end.
Yeah. But no, so I'm like super excited for this game. I think we even got that on lockdown with
that one's pre-ordered.
Yeah, pre-ordered.
So at the beginning of the year, actually before we started recording for Rage Quit and 64 Bits of Rage, that's what I did. Was I went through all of our pre-orders, cut out ones, and I was like, yeah, I can wait on it, not a big deal. Animal Crossing, yeah, that one definitely made the cut though. Comes out the same day as Doom Eternal, which is also pre-ordered. Completely opposite games. I read a cool article where it was
systems too.
Well, it'll be on the Switch.
I know it's gonna be on the Switch, but you're not getting it for the Switch.
No, because I have my Platinum for the Doom 2016 reboot. I will probably get it to the Switch eventually, so I can play through it again. Like,
only reason you have a Platinum for Doom on the PlayStation is because you cheated.
Oh, they fixed that recently, so you don't have to do that. You can microsave now.
Microsave? Oh.
So you can get a little bit further, save, and then like if you die, then get a little further and then save. So Yeah, I spammed it before that update was out to get that trophy because the insanity difficulty or whatever they call it.
They just look at you and you die.
Yeah, I was. Oh my god, that was awful. Thank God somebody had done a workaround. So it worked out.
You just float and then you're good.
Yeah, you're pretty much like glitching off the map to get to the end. Which is awesome.
It happens.
But there was a really interesting article. I can't remember what outlet it was through, but I think it was like the creative director of Doom Eternal, and the interviewer was like asking him about like how do you feel about releasing the same day as Animal Crossing, and he was like excited for Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah.
Completely opposite game as like you're talking about like high octane, like very gory, like arcadey, like old school shooter, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna pick up Animal Crossing." He's like super excited for it. He's like, "I hope they do really well." Like he's like, "I don't think we're really playing in the same space," but he's like, "I like to hope that other like studios and developers and stuff are successful as well.
Yeah,
it's not mutually inexclusive. I don't think that." They should fail just because we come out in the same day kind of a thing.
What do you think about it, too?
And it doesn't really matter. They're hitting two different markets.
Yeah, it's like, yes, it comes out on the Switch, but people aren't necessarily going to play it on the Switch because it doesn't have the trophies and that kind of stuff.
I don't think it's releasing that day on the Switch.
Oh, so it's got a little...
I think they're doing it where it's going to be a delay for the Switch port. I just read an article recently that it is coming to the Switch eventually. Okay. So I think it's releasing on everything else the same day.
Well, that makes sense, too. You also got to factor in the fact that, a lot of people nowadays have multiple consoles or game systems, not just strictly one.
Yeah. I think that has been trending that way for a long time.
A lot of people realize, like,
it's like a lot of people usually have, like, an Xbox One and a Switch, or a PlayStation PS4 and a Switch. Usually not all three, which is funny. The Switch is the one that bridges the gap. Because it's so different.
Well, true, it is different. And I just like the aspect of having the Switch and, a combination of the PlayStation and the Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, that's what I prefer. I prefer to have the Nintendo Switch and a PS4.
Exactly.
And I'm, like, not really interested in getting a Xbox One. So,
no,
and same for next generation. It's like, I'm sure at some point we will get a Switch Lite, or if they announce like a Switch Pro, we'll go that route. Yeah. And then have a PS5 and a Switch Pro or something.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe an old generation console, the Xbox, just to play a couple of their games.
Yeah.
They'll probably be cheap to scoop up. But you also think too, after consoles are released, that the old generations, which people can scoop up and still play good games, are cheap now.
Oh, yeah. They definitely usually, plummet in price, and they do, crazy deals and stuff right before.
No, that's what I mean. It's like, they have this great opportunity.
And the Xbox One would be useful. They have a digital-only version of the Xbox One, and so then I could play, Gears of War and Halo and all old stuff, that Microsoft has. But that's,
down the
distant.
Road. Yeah, distant
future. Third or priority, so...
Yeah, 5th or 6th priority on that one.
Yeah, it's not. I'd rather have PlayStation VR or a Switch Pro first.
This is why we don't have an Xbox podcast. I don't think I've ever heard of an Xbox podcast.
There are Xbox podcasts. There's plenty of Xbox ones. And IGN does a really big one, and they have a Xbox editor, or they did a few years back. And there are people who do. Xbox podcasts.
Very few people. Anyways.
Well, the circle that we live in, though, is Nintendo and Sony, so that's why we don't see it.
No, that's
It's not like we're searching it out.
No, I'm just being sarcastic. That's very true. So what do you... Okay, so we pretty much hit the nail on the head, that phrase. With
that thing
with Animal Crossing. So what are you excited about 2020 for the Switch?
For me, right before we recorded, we were looking up kind of 2020 releases, and the list is kind of not great. Yeah. Nintendo has a habit of kind of holding their cards close to the vest and then releasing stuff a little bit more closer to release with their Nintendo Directs, and they'll be at E3 in that way, and then they host Nintendo Directs throughout the year. I think we're overdue for one, actually.
I think so.
Yeah, I think there's rumors that there'll be one in February, because Sony's kind of pivoting that way too and going more into their state of plays, which is pretty much Nintendo Direct.
Yeah,
Nintendo does it better though with their directs, to be honest.
Yeah, Nintendo started that. We're just gonna do our own thing.
For me, I'd say Devil May Cry 3. Dante's Awakening. They are porting that to the Switch. It comes out at the end of February. It's going to have a combat system more similar to 5, where you can switch styles on the fly, which when that initially released, it didn't.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that. You could like pick a style and then you had to go in and change it, kind of a thing. So the idea of like freshening up the combat system and making it more modernized and like quick and stuff, and that's my second favorite Devil May Cry game. I think will be really cool to play on the Switch.
Yeah.
Especially with the Pro controller you got me, I think it'll
smoother.
Be kind of a sweet marriage between the two. And so I'm excited for that one. That's an older game though, nothing like new or like AAA kind of status. It's not like playing Devil May Cry 5 on the Switch or something. But
I think they have that on there, don't they? Or they're going to.
I don't know. I don't think I've read anything about that. They don't have it on there. No, they have like Devil May Cry 1 and 2, which they released like a la carte, and then 3 is coming.
Yeah,
so they don't seem to be doing like the collections like they did on the PS3 and PS4.
I don't think Nintendo necessarily does collections because a lot of their games are very standalone games.
Yeah, I mean it's like Capcom's like third party, so it's like Nintendo definitely could be like, no, we don't do this though. So and prevent Capcom from just they just want them to release them.
Yeah, they could easily.
They did that with Resident Evil 2 and not Resident Evil 2, but Resident Evil as well. Because they did like 4, 5, and 6, I think, release standalone on the Switch.
Yeah.
So they seem to be developing a good partnership with Capcom, which is, again, a Japanese company. And Capcom's kind of come into its own again. And so they're kind of in like a golden age for them.
Yeah.
Because they've had just so many, like, they've had Resident Evil 2 Remake, they've released all the other stuff, like, digitally on other platforms, Resident Evil 7, of course, Resident Evil 7 VR.
Yeah.
Devil May Cry 5. So it's cool to kind of see that stuff kind of bleed over in the Switch now.
Yeah. It is. It's exciting to see, especially when, like, they ported over The Witcher, and that's a huge-ass game, and just being...
It's a technical fee. Like, we may not be Witcher fans, but yeah, that on the technical side, too, how the hell did you do that?
That's insane.
That's impressive.
Well, it's cool to see, like, the Nintendo, because, like, it was slow build, kind of inching its way with releasing games. Because it did come out with a new console, and for granted it did have Zelda for its first game release.
They released a lot of good stuff in the first couple years, though.
Couple years, yeah, but the first year, though, that took a little bit to build up.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, what time of year the Switch was released. I don't distinctly recall. But, I mean, they had... I want to say it was like springtime, and then they had Breath of the Wild was a launch title. Then they did like Mario Odyssey was like that October,
March 2017.
Okay, so it's spring like I thought. So I mean, they had Zelda and Mario in the same year. That's a pretty good first start, like out the gate.
True.
And then you got, they are definitely like augmenting their like stable of games by porting Wii U stuff over.
Yeah.
Because so few people played the Wii U. So, but there's good games on it. It's good to see that those games are bleeding over, like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came over. There's the other Mario game that came over, Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze came over.
It's like they did port a lot of their really cool games from like the Wii U. Because obviously a lot of people...
So they seem new to a lot of people.
Yeah,
but they came from the Wii U.
Yeah, no one played the Wii U, though.
No.
And so that's like why it seemed new, is because like no one played it.
I think it sold like 21 million units.
Which is tiny compared.
Low, yeah. I think Xbox One right now is at half of what the PS4, maybe even a third. And they just hit like, I think 110 million. Jesus. PS4 did. 110 million units. Then the Switch last couple years has sold the most consoles per year. They're playing catch up though because they released in 2017 and the other consoles released in 2013. So you think they're like a half gen off anyways. So
they tend to be. Nintendo does.
That really doesn't matter. It's harder to make direct comparisons like competitively between the Switch and the PS4 or the Switch and the Xbox One.
Well, like I say all the time, Nintendo just kind of does its own thing.
Oh yeah, they go to the beat of their own drum, which is good. Like,
and
we need that.
It's kind of cool, to see something like that because it's not PlayStation, Xbox, a third party. It's like, oh my god, let's do something else. And Nintendo definitely scratches
our two-party political system, pretty much.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, where independents like float in and out, but they're not really like a stable platform. But we have a stable platform. It's Nintendo. Like,
exactly.
And the time spent in the industry, they dwarf the other two companies.
Yeah, exactly. Nintendo needs to be or the independent party needs to support like Nintendo.
Exactly. With Devil May Cry 3, alongside Animal Crossing, of course. I'm looking forward to that one. And then, until we looked up that list, I didn't realize that the Dark Crystal Age of Tactics, I think, or something along those lines. That's a like a strategy tactics game like Final Fantasy Tactics.
Okay.
Set in the Dark Crystal like universe. I'm very excited for that.
Nice, that sounds fun.
I think that's like a very kind of niche and very specific game. Like that genre is kind of niche, and that we don't get a lot in that genre. And then Dark Crystal, I think, is only really going to resonate for people like our age and older.
Yeah, like, that's true.
So I don't know how well that's going to sell. Like I think it'll do well critically, just because I think it'll be a critical darling, but I don't know if it'll sell crazy well. But I'm looking forward to that, to play it on the Switch too. I think that's one where I don't need to like get trophies for, and I just want to have fun playing it and do a tactics style game because I do like those style of games.
But then you're just kind of preoccupied with getting the trophies and having the opportunity to. I got to do tactics, do it correct. You're just enjoying yourself comparatively.
Yeah, exactly. I can just have fun with it, and it's like it's not like one of my top favorite like pop culture like media franchises.
No,
but I like Dark Crystal. Yeah. And then I really like that style of game. So I think that'll be fun to play on the Switch. So those two in particular, there really isn't anything like announced right now that's like really striking my fancy. There's stuff that I would like to come out this year for sure, but
yeah, I mean, I am hopeful for certain things to come out, but I am excited about sorry, my brain just flatline. Okay, back to where we go. Animal Crossing. For sure, super 100% excited about that.
Yeah.
And I have my all-time favorites. I talk about them a lot, but I'm not excited about Pokemon. It came out in 2019, though.
Yeah, but still, maybe to purchase this year to play, you're still not excited about it.
They're coming out with another Pokemon Dungeon or something like that. Mystery Dungeon. Just not excited for it. And it's just
one of those kind of weird spin-offs like Animal Crossing we talked about.
My Pokemons.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Eventually we'll skip
Here's the problem with me, though. I know we're going to talk about this, too. I just think I'm holding on to that nugget of nostalgia.
Well, we have touched on this, especially in Rage Quit, but I think John of FGG like feels the same way like about Assassin's Creed. Like, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's just some of these franchises become, I don't want to say bloated because they are all good in their own way, but so like elongated. Like there's so many entries, and then you're crossing like now generations, console wise and age wise, like people and gamers, that it starts to splinter the audience.
Yeah,
where you start to really like that, and that's why I dropped off with Zelda. I just did it a long time ago because after my favorite style of Zelda stopped coming out, and we got into the 3D ones, which you love.
I do love those ones.
I have a hard time getting into them. Like, I played a little bit of them, but I'm like, it's not Oracle of Seasons, it's not Oracle of Ages, it's not Link's Awakening, it's not, Link to the Past. Like, that isometric, like, top-down, like, dungeon, Metroidvania, like, kind of style is what I preferred and what I think of Zelda, which is newer than the NES ones, but still a really old format for a Zelda. And so that's why I dropped off of that franchise. And for you, it was like, the 3D ones got you, and then they dropped off, and now you have this open world, Breath of the Wild. So it's like, and then Pokemon's that one I never really got into, so I don't have like a very like distinct frame of reference. But I've played through Pokemon Red. I love it. I can see that it's like an old school RPG.
Yeah.
So the complaints you have about like the newer Pokemons, I would agree with. Like it's super tutorial heavy and walking you through a very kind of like the gameplay loop is simple. Yeah. It's just addictive.
Yes.
Like, and so if you need to explain for 20 hours like how to play this simple game, and I'm not using that like in the like derogatory sense.
No, not in the slightest.
Sometimes simple works, like, and it doesn't need to be messed with. That would annoy me. It's like I don't want to be, don't handhold. Yeah. Like, I know what Pokemon's about. Like, just give me...
I'm not too... You don't need to walk me across... walk me everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't strap me in a stroller. Say, hey, look at this, is cool.
Exactly. Just give me new Pokemon. Give me maybe something that looks a little more stylish. Fine with that. Like, graphical fidelity. Give me a good story. And leave it at that. Gameplay-wise, stay the same.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really need to add too much, you know, say for maybe like new skills or something, or
true,
you know, make the combat more complex because there's been so many of them, and like gamers are getting older, so they can deal with something more complex.
True.
But don't keep it the same and then handhold. Like, and it's just insulting at that point. And then why would you play?
Handholding Natasha, our giant mancoon.
Who's like half the size of the stools that we're sitting on.
Yeah, a little bit. And him sitting down.
And he's sitting, yeah.
No, but it's just kind of intriguing. I'm excited because obviously it's just the beginning of 2019. Nintendo does like to do its own thing.
2020.
Fuck.
you pulled at me. It's episode 20.
You know what? I'm gonna titty sparkler you again.
No.
But I'm just saying it's like in 2020 that you know, Nintendo does kind of swing to its own vine. Ew,
Yeah.
he was like drooly.
He's a big mangoon.
Gross. Swing on its own accord and, you know, does its own thing, which is not surprising in the same breath that they don't have a whole bunch of new releases for 2020.
Yeah, well, at least announced.
Yeah, announced,
Yeah.
sorry. Like, this is coming out. But, like, when you get to, like, PlayStation and Xbox, this is to be expected from them. They have to have these to make it exciting.
Yeah. That's why, like, a big debate right now, or, like, at least discussion, I don't know if there's any, I'm sure there's, like, crazy fanboy peeps that are, like,
fan theories.
Very much arguing. But,
no, this is better. No, this is Batman.
is that Microsoft, within its, like, first year of release for the Xbox Series X, they've gone on the record to say that they won't have any, like, true exclusives.
What?
Yeah, which is kind of weird.
Wait, is that fan theory or is that actual?
No, this is, like, actually reported news.
Oh,
like,
shit.
This isn't
I
fan
didn't know
theories.
that.
I was just saying fanboys will, like, stoke the flames for, like, argument's sake. Like, Sony fanboys against Microsoft or vice versa.
Sorry, I got
like
that confused.
But no, this part has been announced that Microsoft won't have, like, true exclusives for at least the first year.
Oh, the first year. Okay, I thought.
Which is kind of weird, like, because that's what pulls people in.
It's those exclusives.
And so then Sony kind of like countered back, even though we have like very few details on the PlayStation 5. We have more information about the Xbox One Series X, but they were like, we definitely will have, and I think they may have even given a hard number where we'll have like X amount of exclusives like within the first year. And there's rumors that, you know, this is conjecture, but that like Horizon Zero Dawn 2 might be a launch title. Yeah, or,
cool.
You know, Marvel Spider-Man from Insomniac, which is now a first-party Sony studio, and stuff like that, which is crazy. Ooh. And Nintendo sells consoles with first-party exclusives as well. Yeah. So it seems really weird, because Sony and Nintendo are obviously very much focused on using their studios and their properties to sell consoles. Yeah. Microsoft is very much, and rooted as a software company, they're like, we would rather just have our properties on everything, but it's not going to sell consoles then. So then it's like, why even be in the console market? Yeah, it matters less.
I honestly don't feel like Microsoft is going to, or Xbox, and then this is a harsh truth, or just judgment on my end.
I've read a few articles like that. They're going to make the point that you're going to make right now.
They're not going to be around.
Not that they're not going to be around, but they're not going to sell well, for sure.
Well, God, no. Not if you don't have a freaking exclusive. Like, fuck, Nintendo never ports their own games on anything else.
I mean, they are in a way. Like, you were just talking about playing Pocket Camp on a smartphone. That's a port. They're putting their first-party characters or, like, titles on a cell phone that you can play.
But it's not
anywhere.
Like on the PlayStation. It's not like you're playing Mario Kart.
But you can play it on a Sony phone. You can play it on a Microsoft phone.
Yeah, but it's not like you're playing Mario Kart on the PlayStation on the Microsoft. God damn it, brain. Xbox. Sorry, long week.
Which is very true. That is a valid point. And there are like rumors and speculation as far as like what the industry will look like, you know, years from now, or like 10 years from now, 5 years from now. And we will probably get to a point. I think this is like a safe-ish bet. I don't know, like maybe timetables, but.
So like you said, starfish bet.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Yep.
I was thinking New Horizons.
Starfish.
But that like we'll probably be able to play like a Halo or a Gears of War on like a Nintendo Switch or a Nintendo console, as well as, you know,
I'm surprised Microsoft's not going to make a deal with Nintendo, especially before that happens. Like, kind of a fuck you to PlayStation, their last hurrah, and like, it came out on the Switch first, or whatever Nintendo console is at that time.
I think Microsoft I think they're like divesting from the hardware. I think they'll put out a machine, but I don't think that they'll necessarily expect it to sell well or care that it sells well.
Which is weird.
I think for them, their business tact is almost the exact opposite of Nintendo's and Sony's. And I don't necessarily think in a bad way, really. It's just... what they're going to do is make up whatever difference that they don't sell in hardware.
Okay.
And the money is selling games, not hardware.
It is. Because people are only going to buy one explicit, expensive game console once.
Well, notoriously, when game consoles launch, like, the manufacturer takes a hit on it. They lose money for every console they sell until those parts become cheaper or smaller, like more miniaturized. And then they start to get a return on it like a year after launch. But they'll take like $100 a hit per console just to get it out there. And then they sell software to make up that money difference. And then as technology moves forward, then they can start to turn a profit on that hardware.
Okay.
It's one of the reasons we've had like longer console cycles is because like if the first year is kind of a bust, you're losing money. Well, then you have 6 more years or 5 more years to make it up in a 7-year cycle. Yeah. But if they were truncated down to 3, you're expecting consumers to buy 2 consoles within the same period of time for brand loyalty at least. And then you only had 2 years you're losing money, and then 4 years you're making money on 2 different things of hardware.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why it makes sense that they've kind of like elongated and gotten longer, but. Like I said, I don't think Microsoft is necessarily wrong. They're going to sell a lot more software. Like, they're going to sell a lot more copies of the newest Halo or newest Gears of War if they do come to other consoles. Because then it'll be on their console. So if you prefer Xbox, like, you're good there. PC, it's going to be there. Yeah. This last gen, Microsoft's done a great job of making sure that their titles are on both platforms. Which makes sense. If it came to a Nintendo and a Sony console on top of it, I mean, you're essentially doubling what your sales would be for that piece of software. So you think they'll be
kind of like leaning towards more software, which they are a software company more than hardware? Like they kind of, well, we're talking completely out of our ass right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is all like conjecture and stuff. Like some of this is from like market analysis and people who've just been in the industry for a long time. But yeah, I think that's, I mean, I think the proof is kind of in the pudding, like how they've reacted and the things that they've done and how they're structuring like their next console release. Like, I think they're just focused more on software.
Makes sense.
I don't know when or if they will pull out of the hardware game, but it is another platform for them to sell games on. But it would be really interesting to see, like, play Halo on your Nintendo Switch or something.
That'd be, like, legit as fuck.
Or your, Gears of War on your Nintendo Switch. That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be cool to play Gears of War on Nintendo. But, I'm super excited. Like, we've been talking about, I know we got on a little tangent there, that Nintendo does do its own thing. It beats to its own drum, and it's really cool to see that development and still be able to do it. Like, with games, like they have a couple sprinkled of titles coming out, but they don't necessarily have hard release dates, or they wait till like a month before it releases and do this big announcement. And
yeah, they're good with their like I almost said State of Plays, but that's Sony. Their Nintendo Directs, like they do a really good job with those. They get to like permeate like information on their own accord. Yeah, which is really cool. It's like they're not beholden to some convention or some time frame or E3 or something like that.
Well, it makes me wonder too. Now this is like completely side note. What would it be like to work for Nintendo if they give them kind of that leisure? So like they do give them a time frame of how long it takes you should be to make this game, but at the same breath, you're not worried. You have a deadline because that's how it goes, but you're not like gotta get it by E3. Gotta get it out by this. Gotta get it out by that or whatever.
Well, and Sony started to like back off from that kind of mentality too because it can like. Bite you in the ass. Like it's just if you give these promises to consumers,
they're gonna hold you to them promises.
They're gonna try to hold you to it, and I think like hardcore gamers are becoming more at ease with the fact of like a game being delayed, just because they assume that there's gonna be more polish and the game's gonna be better. However, like casual gamers, I think, will get upset about it. So I think it's better to do it the Nintendo kind of way.
This is like the Cyberpunk 2077. Isn't that like
That got delayed, yeah.
Delayed, and people like have this giant uproar about it, that it's been in production since 2012 or some shit like that. And
that was an interesting case because Kotaku, I gotta call them out, I think this was Cyberpunk 2077, I'm pretty sure, like 99.9% sure. They got irritated that Cyberpunk 2077 didn't have enough, like, representation or, like, diversity, like, people-wise.
Okay.
So, Project Red, which is the studio that did The Witcher and they're doing Cyberpunk, were like, okay, like, that's a valid concern or complaint in, like, today's climate. Like, so they were like, we need more time to be able to realize this. Now we're going to be on a crunch, though. And then Kotaku released another article. It was like, how dare you put your employees under a crunch?
It's a backhanded thing to do.
Such hypocrisy.
Yeah, seriously.
It's like, this game's not right. Like, you should fix it. And they're like, okay, like, that you're right. Like, we should. We'll delay it and we'll spend another, it was like April to September, so 5 months. We'll spend another 5 months working on it to try to address these complaints.
Yeah.
And then they're like, how dare you, like, make your employees, like, work harder? And they were like, what?
What do you want from us?
That's like PC culture at its finest. Just
Right.
here's the initial bitch slap, and then we're gonna go for the backhand. Like, and it's like, well,
double tap.
what are they supposed to do? Like, they were trying to do the right thing. So, at the end of the day, that's why I think Nintendo does it right, and I'm glad to see that Sony's kind of following suit, because I think, like, withholding information and releasing it when you're comfortable to, when you know that deadline's gonna be met. And you can say, like, oh, in 9 months this is going to be released. Or, you know, next year it's going to be released. Or in 3 months it's going to be released. Whatever the time frame is. And then it meets...
that time frame.
And it's just... It's like a sign of good faith to consumers. You're not shooting yourself in the foot. Like, there's very little, like, wiggle room for,
there's
complaint.
never really any... There's some, obviously, fanfare and fans do this, but there's never really any rumors about game releases with Nintendo either. Like, I hardly ever see shit like that.
The only thing I ever see where, like, Nintendo fans become, like, fervent about is DLC characters for Super Smash Brothers. That is the only thing I see, like, on Twitter and social media and even in articles and stuff from like, various gaming outlets, is people guessing what the characters are going to be.
Fair enough.
When they're going to be announced, and then when they're going to be released. And they get into fights about it. They're, like, pissed about it if their character that they absolutely love didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
Or if there's a Nintendo Direct and there isn't an announcement about Super Smash Bros. Characters being introduced. Like,
which, that's funny, though.
It is kind of funny. That's the only time I ever see, like, blatant kind of, like, Microsoft and Sony style, like,
kind of
fanboyism, like, inject itself into Nintendo culture.
But it's never, like, outright, like, you know, you see a leaked...
No, I never see people be like, you know, like, fuck Donkey Kong Country. Like, Donkey Kong Country Returns was way better. Like, you're an asshole. Like, if you think that the original Donkey Kong Country was way better than Returns, and Tropical Freeze fucking biffed it because they just copied Donkey Kong Country, and we all know that's the shit one. Like, it's like that. I never see that kind of stuff. Like, where you get with, like, you know...
They're like, oh, I don't really...
Even as much as a Sony fan as I am, that you get with, like, Uncharted. And it's like, well, no, Uncharted 4 is way better than 3. It's like, no, fuck you. 4 was, like, semi-open world. Like, that was shit. Like, 3 is way better. Like...
Well, it's like with Nintendo, though, people, like, they're honest to say, well, I really didn't like this one for this reasons, but I really like this one for this reasons. And that's
they're, like more polite gamers. Like, which is funny.
Well, very polite. We'll tip our hat to you, kind of.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I can see why you would like that. Like, but my favorite one's this one.
Oh,
like, oh, that's cool. I like that one too, but it's not my favorite. Top 3. That happens all the time with, like, Nintendo gamers.
The only one time they get aggressive is with Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, and I don't know why. That's the only...
It's fucking Super Smash Brothers!
Yeah, I've even seen, like, recently, so, like, another kind of, like, sub-gaming community that I'm a part of is, like, with Yeast and, like, Trails of Cold Steel and, like, those types of JRPGs and stuff. And for the longest time, it seemed like everyone was like, oh, just more people should play this. It's not really well known. It's, like, niche, but they're really good games. And so it was, like, very positive. Now it's just, like, devolved into this fucking mess of, like, Super Smash Brothers, like, DLC character release, like, anger and rhetoric territory. And it's just, like...
It's fucking funny.
This one's better than the other one. No, that character was fucking shit. Like, and they were just, like, bickering amongst each other.
But it's the only game they do that with, though.
It is funny. It's, like... It can become very, like, insular and, like, argumentative. I do find on the whole that, like, that niche group usually is fairly like decent to one another. They just want more people to play these good games that people don't play.
Yeah.
And Nintendo's kind of the same kind of way, where it's just like they're just fans of the characters and the franchises of the games, and so they're usually actually pretty polite and respectful.
Yeah, exactly. And Nintendo, like I said, just like its fan base, kind of beat their own drum. They just do what the fuck they want.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it only gets a little bit argumentative.
With Super Smash Brothers.
With Super Smash Brothers for whatever reason. Even like the people doing like tiered lists of their favorite like Pokemons and stuff.
True,
or,
that
like,
one
more
gets an argument. Well,
but that does get into an
yeah,
argument every once in a while.
Well, that too, because of the generation wise. You know, I'm a fan base for the first 120, and then it's like then you get arguments like, no, the next generation's better. No, the next generation's better, and not necessarily the game itself, just the Pokemon on the cuteness.
Usually for me, like as an outsider looking in, especially with franchises.
Pokemon, I don't trust you.
Why do it? They're sacrificial lambs.
Oh
to
God! Horrible.
We already enslaved them and shoved them in little balls, or like forced them not to evolve and shit. Like that's.
Pikachu decided not to evolve. That was his choice.
In the anime, not in the game.
Anyways,
Raichu's way better.
Shut up.
Which is kind of like the exact opposite of what we were just talking about.
I know, right? We were arguing about that.
Usually, as an outsider looking into those like kind of like tertiary arguments, you can usually glean like about a franchise that I don't dabble in very often, like what the best ones are.
Yeah.
So it's like with Pokemon, it's like the next one that I will probably play or want to play is Black and White.
Oh yeah.
Everyone says that one's a really good one. I'm like, oh, I didn't play that one. I've only played Red because everyone's like, oh, the original's really good.
You got to start at the originals. You got to start out with
which I did, yeah. And Red was
too.
great. And then they were like, oh, these are really decent and good, like kind of in the in between. But they're like it's seemingly what I've like gleaned from like seeing these arguments or these like posts on Twitter and stuff is that Black and White is like a really good one to crack into. So, and same with like Super Smash Brothers, I probably won't play because I'm really bad at Super Smash Brothers, and I don't like that style of game anyway. So
I always get you in beating games unless you do.
There's some cool ones on PlayStation that we could play today. There's like Brawlhalla, which is like a free one, which is pretty cool, and then there's PlayStation All Stars on PS3. So we could totally try that out today.
Right.
Once we're off recording.
Well, I think we went on the tangent list and off the left field and out on the right corner. But no, like we kind of recap. Animal Crossing New Horizons is awesome. I'm excited for it to come out.
Yeah, April 3rd.
They don't have a whole lot of releases coming out this yet. Keyword in 2020.
Yeah, we don't know. They might not.
But I honestly feel like with Nintendo, as we just talked about, they dabble in there and sprinkle in their fairy dust when they want to.
Yep. Yeah, I'm excited for a couple of smaller digital games that are either older or more niche, but I am still looking forward.
Oh, yeah.
I will definitely go back this year and play, like, Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
And,
I'll give Pokemon a try.
Yeah.
I mean,
I definitely want to go back through, like, the big back catalog of Nintendo games.
Zelda, though.
Yeah, I'm going to try to play that one this year,
You can play that game. Fuck that game.
See if I can get into it and actually finish it, because we have it, so.
True.
But I haven't even started it. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I saw you play in the beginning, and I was kind of, it looks decent, but it doesn't look like what everyone was saying. Like, perfect 10, perfect game.
You're right.
Like, I'll go play Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That's fine.
Assassin's and all that. All right, kind sir, any housekeeping?
As soon as this episode releases, so by the time you listen to this, if you got to the end, I'll be submitting 64 Bits of Rage to Spotify, Google Play Music, iTunes, and then several other podcast like directories and hosting sites. So hopefully by the time episode 4 rolls out, it'll be available. All the past episodes, as well as the current one, will be available on those platforms.
Which is legit. So, we're expanding, yo.
Yeah, that's kind of the benchmark for all podcasts. Kind of like a peek behind the silver veil. You usually have to get to 3 episodes.
Yeah, which makes
kind
sense.
Of show
the
intense consistency to be able to submit to these other platforms.
True.
So we definitely want this one to reach far and wide in the same way that Rage Quit already does. And we still even tweak that podcast, and we will with this one.
Always.
As far as reach is concerned. We'll be regularly submitting it to other outlets and platforms and stuff.
Yeah.
But like I said, by the time episode 4 rolls out, this should be available near everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think we got shirts hopefully rolling out soon enough.
Yeah, and we'll
got
be
some test subjects coming in.
we'll be posting on social media those as soon as we receive the prototypes. They're not in production for purchase yet. And they won't be by the time this rolls out either. We're looking for the right kind of matchup for our company with another company in production. But Ariel and I will have prototypes. We've already done like mock-up designs and stuff. And so we'll be able to submit those and receive shirts of our own.
Yeah.
So you'll at least be able to get to see them and see if, the next couple weeks you want to purchase them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it'll be rolling out soon enough. Just think about that,
Yeah, this isn't something that's like 6-8 months or, a goal for the end of the year. This will be wrapped up and done within 2 months.
Exactly.
So
soon. Very soon.
Within February, when this releases, you'll be able to see the prototypes.
Yep.
You can follow Ariel at Merhobbit on Twitter, and you can follow myself at Anthony R. Schultz, and we'll have photos.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There, so.
All right, well, I think that's everything, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I think that's a wrap.
As always, follow the bear.
Peace.
Bye. I think it's like